Hey, everybody. Welcome to episode 36 of Mr. Robin's Hood Podcast. This episode is another in our occasional series, Working 2025. Here we are on February 1st, more than a year since we started this train wreck of a podcast. Admit it, you can't look away. We've some great episodes coming up this year, and we'll be making some changes to our productions. Chief among those will be moving to a video podcast format. And although we've been talking about that for some time now, I figure we'll start shooting video later this month and making those available in March.
Yay!
Yes, it's been a tough uphill climb, but from a technical standpoint, I think we're there and ready. Of course, there were other issues.
As there always are.
Like Mikey.
We had already.
Like,
just like Mikey. What am I?
Like Mikey insisting that I would have to wear a mask because I just wasn't pretty enough to appear on camera with it.
That is not how I said it.
It is. And I kind of went along with it. We joked around about
he just wants to wear a Batman mask.
What kind of a mask I would wear.
We want to be like Banksy and nobody knows who we are. Like they know us, but they don't know us.
I was leaning towards a Batman cowl. I'm Batman. But then this past week, things changed. So, Mikey, you know my pal, Wiley Piemore?
Dear God, yes. Unfortunately, I do. What about him this time?
Well, I went with Wiley up to Cleveland last week.
Cleveland as in Ohio?
Yep. He's been talking to me about investing in a lucha libre franchise in Cleveland. So we went up there to see things for ourselves. I got to tell you, I was so impressed that I bought into the franchise. That gave me a great idea for a video podcast mask, a lucha libre mask. You know, the one that covers the entire head. Nearly all of the professional wrestlers down south wear them. In fact, since I'm a part owner in the franchise, they're going to let me wrestle occasionally. You want to know my lucha libre name?
I'm simply breathless with anticipation. Do tell.
Henceforth, I shall be known in Cleveland and environs as El Diablo you
scribble your own name.
Guapo.
El Diablo Guapo. Welcome. Wait, what? The handsome devil? Well, guess what? I had already heard you were getting a lucha libre mask, so I decided I wanted one too. Mine is the same mask that was worn by Jack Black in the movie Nacho Libre. Nacho Libre. Nacho Libre, we all know what I was trying to say. I love that film, and I love Jack Black probably more than the film. Actually, I think I said at one point that I told Brett, like, if Jack Black would marry me, I would leave you for Jack Black. People are like, why him? Because I love him.
So, what's your lucha libre name?
I haven't got one yet.
I know. Henceforth, you shall be known by the name La Reina del Bougie.
La Reina del Bougie. Well, why am I bougie? Fuck off. Don't dye my hair. Also.
Yeah. Okay.
Add that in there.
Okay.
We've been arguing
about
over some stuff.
The bouginess. Of Mikey.
I'm not bougie. I'm bougie in some senses, but not that I should be called out in the podcast realm for it. By no means.
Fine. You can't take a joke. I get it.
No, I get it.
Well, okay. I'm Robin Howeiler, otherwise known in Cleveland, Ohio as Mr. Robin, as well as El Diablo Guapo. Joining me as always on this journey into America's soul is my altogether lovely co-host, collaborative partner, and all-around best pal, Mikkel Murray Robinson, also known as Mikey-on-the-Mic. Say hello to our mask-wearing wrestler audience, Mikey.
Well, hello there, mask-wearing wrestler audience that's not probably wearing a mask or are a wrestler, but Robin makes me say this stuff.
We're coming to you digitally from Studio B here at the compound, just outside of beautiful downtown Fargo, Oklahoma.
As I said, you do not live in downtown Fargo.
No, I live a couple miles east of it.
Yeah, because downtown Fargo, there's nothing there. So you're definitely
really
not there.
Yeah. We're joined today by another of life's overachievers, Sara Acosta.
Yay! Acosta sounds like something fancy to me.
It means by the sea.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
That's pretty fancy.
There you go. Sara is an actor with a number of film credits on her IMDb page, including Rise of the Crimson Butcher.
Sounds fun.
She is also a writer, an artist, and I recently learned a mezzo-soprano. Welcome, Sara.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So, do you want to dive into the background, the educational background?
Yeah,
That's kind of where we dropped that off.
Let's start there. So, as Sara grew up in Woodward, graduated from Woodward High, went to went to OU first, right? So you started at OU, decided to go to a small school.
I got homesick.
Did you get homesick?
A little bit. And so my parents were like, just go to Northwestern, it'll be fine.
Yeah,
and it was fine.
But you went to Alva though, right?
Yeah.
Did you commute?
No, I lived in Alva for 5 years. Yeah,
Me
I think
too.
So. Yeah.
So I just decided to go to Northwestern because they said they would pay me to go to school there.
That was another factor.
Yeah, that you could get paid there. And, I grew up poor, so it was like, oh, yeah. But also
participation scholarships.
Yeah, there was that. And I had some other scholarships that I had applied for, too, on top of that. And then I got the full amount of FAFSA. But also, to me, because I came from an even smaller school, I mean, how many did you graduate with in Woodward?
I want to say like 300-ish.
Holy moly.
Cow.
That was after a lot of them kind of either dropped out or moved away. So
I'll be darned.
You had a pretty big class.
I think my class a long time ago, I don't think it was even 200.
I think Brett's was 180, right? Class of 04, right? 03. Oh, shoot. Class of 03, he had 180. But I grew up in a town that had maybe 100 people in the whole school. So I had like 21 in my class. And so I was like, I don't think I want to go to a big school. And so I was kind of contemplating going to Emporia State, which is where my grandfather taught theater, or then Northwestern kind of presented itself. And I was like, well, I'd really hate to go to a school where I actually have the same last name with somebody who has a theater named after them. What if I do some dumb shit? And then, Northwestern.
And we all know students do some
right. And I'm like, they're going to know that's my grandpa, like I'll be known there. And Northwestern, they were like, ooh, pay you. And then it was closer. That actually played into my decision as well, too, as a lot of kids are like, I want to get as far away from home as possible. But my grandpa was ill. And he was my dad, And so I didn't want to go too far from him. I wanted to be able to pop over and see him and visit, So family does play into, not for everybody. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing if it doesn't for you, but some of us, that makes a difference. So that's kind of how. And I want to say, what were the years you were at Northwestern?
I think 2010 and let's see, beginning of school. Okay, yeah, 2010 to 2014.
Okay, I was 2007 to 2011, but I actually moved out of Alva June of 2010. I commuted because I came over here to Woodward and did my internship at the radio station.
So you were holed up in the MassCom building anytime you were in Alva. Yeah, so I wouldn't have. I was holed up in the theater, so no pass.
Yeah, because I did the theater from 07 to the end of '08, probably.
Hmm.
And then it just, some things happened and I was having to work a lot and it just wasn't, it wasn't something that, I could keep up with. So I just switched my minor to mass comm and there I was. But I did do a play while I was there, so, but, and then I did the mural. It was some green and blue something. It was some weird children's play of some sort.
Oh, you did the children's show?
It was the children's show, yeah.
Those are fun.
Yeah, it was interesting. I was in total green, which is my favorite color, like my face painted or whatever. But anyhow, so I'm interested, though, to hear a little bit more about, you leaving high school, going to OU, and then your transition to Northwestern. So, table's yours.
Well, I had dreams of grandeur, and I wanted to go to OU for their theater program as well as their band, the marching band, because who doesn't want to be in the marching band?
Right. Oklahoma.
Yeah, I wanted to be the drum major walking horizontally.
There you go.
But I failed both of my auditions for that because I was a pretty good trumpet player, but I don't think I was the good that they were looking for.
Right.
Because they want like the big old marching band. They could go to DCI or something. And then for my theater audition, I didn't know what a monologue was, really. I kind of thought it was just something you repeated from TV.
Yeah.
And so my monologue was actually, because I was edgy, I was an edgy teenager.
Yeah.
It was the last one from the Angelina Jolie did from Girl Interrupted.
Oh, yeah.
I said those words in front of the college
well,
recruiter.
You live and you learn, though.
Yeah.
You really do. I didn't go as far to even audition and anything like that. So kudos to you.
Thanks.
But then after that all played out, how soon was it that you turned around and just came back to Northwestern?
I finished the year. I was a history major after that because I was like, well, I'm here already. I'm accepted. So why not just still get the prestigious OU degree? But then I got homesick.
Yeah.
And I finished out the year and my parents were just like, just go back to Northwestern.
Yeah.
It's fine. And then I got drug into Wiest's, theater professor Wiest's office by a friend. And he was like, you need to meet her. And I did need to meet her because she pulled me back into my love of theater.
It's great.
So, yeah. And then I just learned a lot of the things that I didn't know. I learned how to decorate sets and how to be a carpenter.
Those are important pieces of getting the sets. I used to help paint them. I used to do a lot of the set painting when I was there for the little short stint that I was. But again, I didn't follow through with it. My poor grandfather is probably disappointed, but that's okay. It was a really great experience, though, because I love to paint. I did a mural in the little room, the little backstage room. I think still there. So that's cool. It's a nice little piece of my legacy I left behind. It's just like she said, it's being in a program like that is really, really demanding as far as that goes. And I wasn't able to juggle working the amount that I needed to work, school, and that. So that was kind of why I stepped out of it. But they do great stuff in that program.
Oh, yeah. And continue to do great stuff.
Yeah. And Wiest is still there, isn't she?
Yep. She is still running the program along with Mickey Jordan. He's the tech. He came in recently in the past 10 years.
I want to say that I was working with Brat at the time.
Yeah. But Mickey is the new, they made a whole new position with Dr. Reichenberger's endowment.
Yeah. That's cool.
And so he gets paid through that as the technical director, and she's just the regular.
No, that's good.
Like the whole of the theater. Ooh.
Right. Yeah, you got to watch those. That'll get you. That'll get you. So while you were at Northwestern, what were the productions that you were in and a part of? Do you remember something like just?
Do you have the paper?
Do I need to pull it up?
I've got. Yeah, if you
did you send it to me?
I did.
Okay, hold on. I know that's right. It's like, oh, there's like you're asking me to remember stuff.
Yeah, and at this point, it's just kind of like flashes of everything that I've ever done. Let's see. Okay. The last one that I ever did was Godspell, which I kind of rolled my eyes because it was one of those 70s shows that I was like, oh, that's not really that edgy or really cool or anything. But we did some really cool stuff. Like we built an entire a scale-to-scale facade, a full-scale facade of the fine arts building inside the theater.
Wow.
Like, and people were like, is that smaller? And I'm like, no, it's every single inch of that building. And then I got to have my first solo as a senior. Turn Back, Oh Man. It's where it's kind of a raunchy song because it's a little bit mocking, and it's like, oh Jesus, tempt me further. But I enjoyed playing with that, and we did some classics such as Midsummer Night's Dream.
Yeah.
I saw
that.
I was Hermia.
Oh yeah, I'm seeing this. Little Women. You did that as well.
Mm-hmm.
You were a party goer.
Yeah, I was more stage design in that.
In that one.
That was insane as well. That's where I first painted my first wallpaper of damask pattern.
Oh, interesting. Wow,
It was
that would have been something
rough. We had just gotten the walls up at that point, and we had 36 hours until the show opened. And so I was up there for 36 hours painting.
Oh, I believe
until everything was done.
Oh boy.
But that was also my first time of designing the set instead of just constructing it. I was given the reins to like
actually design it.
Yeah, like what do you
bring it to fruition?
Yeah, so that was really cool. And then the rest of these are just kind of just the smaller stuff. We did Hiding Place, which was a story about the Holocaust.
Right.
And Exit the Body. It's a slapstick farce. I was the policeman at the end, the undercover detective that gets to make the final, turn at the end of the story, which is pretty fun because I was the maid the whole time.
Right.
And I just had to kind of be like ditzy and
yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of it for the theater.
The theater part.
Yeah.
Well, I was seeing the parks and entertainment.
Yeah.
You spent some time in Florida?
Yeah. So actually,
I'm curious about that. Please tell me more. What this like hotel entertainment? Like what?
There was it's another bait and switch story. Like I wanted to go to California.
Yeah.
And
okay.
Just nobody was like, yeah, I'll live with you. They were just like, no, screw you. But I had a friend Tally, she's like my best friend.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, come spend a week in Florida and see how you like it. And I did. And then I went to live with them for 4 years, 4.5. And so Florida is kind of the entertainment capital of like, tourism kind of stuff. You got the Disney, Universal, all that sort of stuff. So I spent a whole year auditioning for all of these different places, Legoland, until I finally got Legoland. And they had me doing a bunch of different stuff. Like I've got Kill Bill style flashbacks of the Lego men.
Yeah.
and I finally got to do, at the end of that little stint there, I got to do some face performing as somebody that just kind of roams the hotels and the parks sometimes, and just be a Lego universe character, but in my body. So like I wasn't a Lego person, but I was me.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And then Dark Horizon. Oh my God. That was, so there's this, have you guys heard of the Queen Mary?
Like a boat?
The ship?
Yeah, the ship.
Yeah.
The beach, right?
They usually run a haunted house out of there
Ooh.
during that
Love
season.
a haunted house.
And so the company that ran that kind of came over to Florida and was like, let's do something similar on this coast. And what they do is they did some historical digging and got some characters from real life like they did in the Queen Mary.
Oh.
And they made a whole like kind of like Halloween Horror Nights.
Yeah.
But just like in the old Nickelodeon hotel parking lot.
Wow.
It was confined to that one parking lot. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But you'd think you were in a whole different part.
Right.
And I got to do a bunch of different roles there as a scare actor. So it was pretty cool.
Fun. See, I think scare acting would be my favorite anymore. Like I did some like speech and drama in high school.
Mm-hmm.
Did a little debate before they did away with it. I actually did really well. I feel like I could have gone somewhere. I went to state and IDA, which is improvised to acting, which I feel like I do here on this podcast. But yeah, that's I always wished I could go at Nightmare in the Country, that, but I couldn't devote myself to all those weekends because when, I had learned about it, I was working at the radio station and I worked every Friday. And then the next job I got, I worked on the weekend. So it just never worked out for me to be able to participate in that. But that's always been something like, well, that'd be fun. I'd love to be there scaring people.
And it's like, I feel like it's the easiest acting job in that you have,
right?
You know that, not that it's easy, but like,
sure,
you know your purpose. Your purpose is to scare the piss out of people.
Yeah.
And when you do, it's hilarious.
It's a very instant rewarding type of acting, I would imagine. So
There's no stinking applause, just a lot of screaming and running away.
The best kind.
Yeah. So we've talked a little bit about your stage. Let's move on to your film and your TV.
Okay, yeah.
She's been really hard at work over the,
Oh, I know. And
years.
One of the things I was really interested in, and I know you did, it's not 1883.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
It
Yeah.
is?
Yeah.
Oh, I had in my head it was 1888.
I think you got it wrong
That's
on the resume.
that's what I always think too. And Brett's always like, it's 1883. I was like, why do I think it's 1888? I have the same. I don't know why that is.
And
Isn't that because when Woodward was...
Oh,
no,
or
that was
1887.
No, 1889
No,
was
1907 is when it was official, right?
well, it
That's a
became a
state.
state. No,
My
Woodward came into existence 1893.
1893.
Oh,
Oh, well, that's when the land room's here. Yeah, okay.
And for those of you who don't know, 1883 was a prequel or origin story for Yellowstone, and you appeared in 6 episodes.
Were there 8 episodes or 10 episodes of the show? Because I was in all but 2.
Oh, okay. It must have been 8. 'Cause
Well,
I
my
found that
IMDb
someone
That's a complicated story. I kind of had to add those myself
yeah.
because that was a production that didn't necessarily want to add us, even though I was there for 6 months.
Yeah.
Every day I was there.
Yeah. And you didn't have a character name. I think it just identifies you as immigrant woman or.
Yeah. I was on my call sheet. I was a gypsy immigrant woman.
What I want to know, burning question, is did you get to keep the squirrel vest?
God, no, I asked for it and I didn't feel like I was powerful enough to just kind of like get away with it,
Yeah.
But on the last day, I looked up into the wardrobe truck and I'm like, do you think they're going to throw that away? It's kind of nasty. And they were like, we take everything back.
Oh.
I did see a random piece. Don't tell anybody.
As we blast it here, but shh.
Nobody listens to this podcast
Right.
anyway.
There was a random piece of fur that fell off of one of the costumes that's currently hanging on my wall.
Nice.
Oh, cool.
So I do have a piece of me.
That was nobody was gonna find it. It was just
No.
gonna be there forever. So
gonna be
you didn't
lost
do
on the
anything
prairie.
wrong. You didn't do anything wrong. It's fine.
I did name the squirrels on the jacket though.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. I can't remember the other ones right now, but I do remember the one on the back. His name was James.
James.
Which so happens to be the name of the character of James Dutton.
Oh,
I didn't do that on purpose, but I just found out.
That's funny.
Yeah.
And you were,
Name the squirrel.
so you had, daily interactions with like Sam Elliott.
Yeah. Only some of them were like more close than others, but I did get to see him work a lot. I got to see Tim McGraw and Faith Hill.
Mhm.
And we did stuff like, we did actually skip rocks on the river with Tim McGraw one day. That was
Wow, that's
when we filmed the river crossing.
Yeah.
That was very special.
so. How did you land that part?
It's all really kind of a luck story, really.
Yeah.
I had somebody message me and say, hey, I think that you would be great to be this ratty Wagoneer. And I was like,
thanks a lot, Mike.
No, actually, let me just say, if somebody said that to me, I would be honored. Like, that is how I try to
I'm a wild
portray myself. The fact that you think I'd be good for that,
And so, like, there's a place called, God, what's it called? It's a background casting website, and I just submitted myself for that. They're like, hey, come down to Dallas, Fort Worth, and we'll talk to you about what this is going to mean, because this is something different than a regular background casting. So I went to this really sketchy warehouse in downtown Fort Worth.
She's like, I'm so glad I'm still alive.
I brought my friend because he's a big, strong male looking type. And I was like, if I don't come out in 10 minutes and I don't text you or something, please call the cops.
Yeah, like, I am scared for my life. But I'm going in here because this is my dream, damn it.
Yes. That's the only reason.
I'm sacrificing for art right now.
But
so how was it different from other sort of background roles?
It literally the longevity, because
you were there for 6 months for a background role. I mean, that is kind of extensive.
And I had to be away from home because honestly, it obviously didn't film around Woodward.
Mm-hmm. Where did it film exactly? Montana, right?
It was mostly in Texas, actually.
Texas. Okay.
Yeah.
So it wasn't super far, but
it was two months in Montana in the coldest weather that I have ever. I don't want to live in Montana after that.
Yeah, you're like, that's all I needed. Done.
Yeah. But yeah, they just asked us. They got a good look at us, had us do a small acting exercise, just to make sure we wouldn't like overreact on camera or something,
Uh-huh.
And then they asked us, are you okay dipping out of your life for 6 months? And I was, please, I'm a janitor right now. I don't want to.
I am fine. Tell me where to go.
Yeah. And so, after a lot, this was also the days of COVID testing. So I was really,
I see, it's 2021.
I was really dedicated to get this because I had to stick swab up my nose every other day. And this was the days of the puncturing your brain swabs.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And it was not great, but I was that dedicated.
Wow.
And
so, also, I really have to hear about the rise of the Crimson Butcher.
Yeah, what do you want to know?
Well, is it?
It's mysterious sounding, isn't it?
Yes. Can you stream that? It was.
Yeah, we want to watch it.
Yeah, it just came up on streaming on Amazon.
Oh, I have Amazon. I got this.
I don't think that it comes with Prime. I think you have to buy it.
I could rent it.
Yeah, you can rent it.
$5.99.
Yeah, and
totally worth it.
Please do.
Do you get royalties?
Still get royalties.
Do you get royalties from that?
I didn't get paid.
What?
No. It's just a little indie film, but it was my first primary role, and I got to do some really cool stunts.
Oh.
And I wouldn't say they were as cool as my 1883 stunts.
Yeah.
Because those include running in between runaway wagons and crossing a real Texas river.
Oh, wow.
With just holding onto a rope.
Wait a minute. Did you ever see the miniseries Lonesome Dove, where they're crossing a river in Texas and a swarm of snakes comes up?
Oh my God, no. I did hear a lot of comparisons during the time, though. They're like, this is just like Lonesome Dove. I'm like, okay, I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, I guess I don't know that either, Robin. Sorry. I've heard of it. I've heard of Lonesome Dove, but
It's great. It was really a great.
What about The Man from Snowy River? Now that's one I can get on top of.
One. Yeah.
Oh,
I've never heard of that one.
No,
What?
I'm not. See, when I went onto this, I was not
God.
a Western aficionado.
Well, I wouldn't say that I am either by no means, but yeah, I know. I liked it. I meant to comment on it, but look at Robin's shirt.
But yeah, in Rise of the Crimson Butcher, it's your regular like hack and slash horror, but I also get to break a bottle over somebody's head, which was
that's always
awesome.
Cool. That's always cool.
I got.
Were they wearing a helmet?
No.
Oh,
Nope.
it's real?
No, you're using that Hollywood glass. It's all sugar.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
But it still hurts because I had to
Yeah.
really bash her head over.
You're like, hey, bitch.
It was really easy in the moment because she was trying to attack me. So I was like,
yeah,
just use it.
And you got into it, right? Like
Yeah.
you almost became the role you were. There was
I was fighting for my life.
no in between there.
Yeah.
That's cool. What an experience. Boy, that's wild.
It really is. And that'll live forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope so. I do have it on DVD though. So if you have a DVD player.
Oh yeah.
I don't know anybody that has one of those anymore.
Oh.
Yeah. Robin still does.
I don't have 1883 on DVD though. That sucks. Been waiting for it to go on sale.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that.
Well, it'll make the rounds on Paramount.
Well, did you make more money doing that than you would have being a janitor?
Oh yeah.
For 6 months?
Oh yeah.
That's a win.
Yeah.
Win.
Especially when it came to like after they get you away from their home base, they start paying you per diem. And so
excellent.
So you just like eat less and a little more during crafty times and not dinner. Not dinner, and you make some more.
Yeah, you go buy a case of Vienna sausages or something.
Yeah.
We'll
eat this green beans with ketchup. I actually like that,
but I'm going to say crafty though. That was probably one of the most eye-opening experiences because now we as background didn't get this every day. It was mostly like chicken and rice, but there was like steak and lobster all the time for the main cast and crew. And sometimes we got a little bit of that.
Yeah, they shared the wealth a little.
And the Gator, the cook on Yellowstone, is actually the crafty guy for all of Sheridan's stuff.
Oh.
So he makes really good food on screen and off.
Oh, both. It's not fake. You know, when I was a kid and when I'd be watching movies with my dad and I'd be like, how is that even real? And blah, blah, blah. That's not even really happening. And I'd like go off in the middle of the movie and my dad would get super pissed off and he'd be like, Mikkel, would you be quiet? We're trying to watch the movie. And after all, it's Hollywood. And he'd do that. And I'm just, okay, I get your point. And then I'd shut up.
I do.
Do what?
How old were you when you
Well, probably 8 was when I started actually catching on to the point of all of it, I would say.
But Taylor Sheridan, did you have much or any interaction with him?
I had a few.
This sounds interesting.
Well, I mean,
just your reaction. Had a few.
Most of us only saw him really just exit his horse trailer that had a personal gym inside of it, to come out and direct the episode. And then he said hi to us in passing once, and we were like, well, what was that? Because that's just not what he really did. He kind of standoffish guy.
As all the great artists.
Yeah, but I mean,
I know.
you got to hand something to him because he wrote 1883 in 3 months.
Yeah.
By himself.
And he's now, I think I saw something, he's got like 6 different productions that are in the pipeline. So the guy is prolific. He kind of reminds me a little bit. Oh, what was that guy's name? Kurt Sutter, that did Sons of Anarchy.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I think he took a lot of cues off of him because he worked on Sons of Anarchy as an actor.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah.
Well, I feel like maybe that inspired him. I as an artist myself, and I'm sure you can relate, I know he can relate, is sometimes you get that spark. Well, I don't know if she can relate or not. Are you looking at him? Was I rude for not including her? Maybe Marianne can relate. I don't know. But I feel like you get like this inspiration or a burst of an idea, and it can come, spill right out. However fast or slow or whatever that looks like, usually it just comes right out. And maybe he's experiencing quite a bit of that, which is amazing.
Yeah, I bet so. Going back to like the food. Oh, I'm sorry. My phone is sitting on the table. The food on set though was not great because we had to actually eat trail food. And in the beginning, we kind of pigged out as immigrants. and they were like, "You're eating all your food, you dumb hicks." And so there was this scene where we had to just gorge ourselves, and a lot of us we wanted to be actors professionally, and we still do. And so, but none of us had really been on a set where we had eaten on set before. So they were just like, just gorge yourselves on this and make it look like you're running out of all your food. So we did that. We put at our little place. We had eggs, bacon, really tough biscuits.
Like the biscuits were hard.
They were dry. Yeah. Let me just tell you. And we didn't have water. And so we were just like gorging ourselves, and they were like 10 takes of that. And we got pretty tired of it pretty fast because
why?
The first take, a lot of us had like 3 giant chunks of like either biscuit or something in our mouths. And then they were like, okay, do it exactly the same way. I'm like, okay, I can't breathe.
You're like, is this a form of torture?
And that was also when Tim McGraw stole a sausage from me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
that's a milestone. I can't go around in my life saying Tim McGraw stole a sausage from me. That's something.
He was on his horse, and he pointed over to us, and we were all sitting around our little campfire, and Gator came over, and he was like, "You want this one?" He's like, "Yeah." So he just picked up a sausage off of he picked up a sausage off of our plates and handed it up to Tim McGraw, and he just kind of like, you know that gif where Ramsay Bolton kind of waves the sausage at Theo in Game of Thrones? And he's just like,
I've never seen it. I've never seen it.
Yeah.
It's kind of what he did. He just kind of like waved it at us and then took a big old bite out of it.
So like, thank you for the sausage.
Yeah, and I'm like,
you're welcome, dude.
But I do have to say the bacon was better because it was nice, thick. It was thick bacon.
It was good, thick bacon.
So.
You know, everything's better with bacon. So, regardless of the type, I decided I love bacon. Have you ever heard Jim Gaffigan talk about bacon?
I've heard him talking about Hot Pockets.
Yeah, that's a good one too. Oh, fun. So, do you have aspirations to try to get back on your little underground site and apply for some more stuff? Or have you already done that and just
you're not telling us.
Luck hasn't, or you're not going to tell us? Just be like,
we're going to stuff you into a Grinch suit.
Oh my
god! Yes, we are.
Oh no!
Great idea. I don't even know if that made this cut. I think that was the previous conversation.
It's going.
I'm going to tell you this first. Actually, Jim Carrey was the inspiration of why I wanted to be an actor.
Oh, really? That's wonderful. I love Jim Carrey.
And it was from Ace Ventura 2.
Oh, yeah.
Not even 1. Ace Ventura 2. And I was like, that's the guy I want to be for the rest of my life.
I was thinking like Dumb and Dumber. I loved him in Dumb and Dumber.
I can't relate. I didn't really like that much.
Oh, I just
when
thought
they're
he
in
did.
The van,
I just thought
making that noise.
I just thought he did so good in that. Like, how can you be so obnoxious?
He's a talent for sure.
He really is. Well, and then he turned around and did the Eternal Spotlight or the Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, and it was like, oh, this is serious.
Yeah,
like how? And it wasn't even bad. Like he somehow broke the barrier into, and then like The Man in the Moon, that was another serious Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
And those two just kind of people were taken by, well, how can he switch? But then they were still well received. And that just to me speaks to the type of actor you are. If you can't go from one extreme to the other and be accepted, then you suck. I mean that in the best possible way.
Yeah.
Jim Carrey is definitely not listening.
Maybe
he should, though.
Maybe he is. Maybe he's like your number one fan.
He might
be.
Send me a text.
Hey, Jim Carrey, you were my inspiration.
I named my dog Ace. I didn't actually name him, but his name was Ace.
But as far as like future goes on, have you heard of this thing called the Hollywood strike?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, that happened a little while ago, and it kind of decimated the industry.
Oh, really?
Because everybody for so long was just kind of wrapping up what they had done, and working within the bounds that they could of these special agreements. And it kind of, especially in these smaller markets like Oklahoma, which is where I have to work because like a lot of things don't really pay that well for unknown actors. And I got to work within what I can, and trip to the city is kind of expensive.
Right.
But it's, I do still audition for stuff, and I do still send my name in for stuff, but it kind of, my type, I don't see come up very often.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm not on the right sites. Maybe I'm, but
Well, it's hard to
So
tell.
do you think there's like a lag from, strike to post-strike? There, everybody's trying to get through whatever they already had. Nobody's creating anything.
well, I think people are definitely creating things, but they might not just be for me to be in. Or
You're saying that when it comes to acting, there are characters that kind of fit a special niche as far as other than just, are you a good actor? There's other pieces that play into that physicality,
Yeah.
those different things. And you're saying that there are parts that aren't being created that fit
yeah,
you in
Yeah.
a sense.
And-
And that makes a lot of sense because I know, there's a lot of that in Hollywood.
yeah. And well, me at my age as a woman, it's kind of difficult because I'm short and I'm petite. And so for most of my life, I have been that like childhood or teenage character. Like on my resume, I showed Asleep on the Wind. I was 12 in that, and I was 24.
Oh, yeah.
So I bound my chest, but I still looked very much like a 12-year-old.
12-year-old. Yeah.
But now I'm kind of aging out, and my face is starting to show a little bit of age. And so now it's mostly moms or stuff. And I don't fit that all the time.
Yeah, I get that.
I was a mom in Rise of the Crimson Butcher, though. So,
Ooh, we're going to have to watch that.
Oh, I saw a still photo from that, and that looked really great.
yeah, thank you.
Your hair was
So, a
kind
lot of
down.
hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely have.
And you had your eyes.
Yeah, she looked like a crimson butcher.
I
right?
need to know that still.
Well,
But yeah, I'm looking forward to the industry picking up.
yeah.
Yeah, great.
And so now what you're doing is the meantime is just working for the Woodward News and,
Which, by the way, I'm just going to say this, and I'll edit it out if you want. But
she's going to be like, edit it out, you dickhead.
but to have you working in advertising, I think is really a misuse of your talent. Because I've read stuff you've written.
Yep, you're a good writer.
A really good writer.
I've read it too.
Well, thank you.
Maybe you should be applying to college.
Ooh, maybe you should freelance write some shit.
I've thought about it. I need a little direction in that if I wanted to do that, because freelancing kind of scares me as far as writing goes, because
I can understand that. I feel you. And I am a writer, but my probably gift of writing is mostly in poetry. I worked for the Northwestern News, and I did some entertainment columns, and I've written for newspapers here and there as well. But I understand that because I'm just like, I don't know that I'm good enough to just put myself out there as a freelancer. Right. And then they'd be like, well, this article sucks.
Well, I
Wish
think
we didn't hire you.
I think it actually has helped me to work at the newspaper, because before now I hadn't really written anything that was just like meant for other people to consume. It was mostly just journal entries and diaries.
Sure.
But I think now, if you'd asked me like a year ago, I'd been like, no, what do you mean, me a writer? But now I think that I could make a modest, like a little income on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you should look into it. When I first moved to Woodward, I had done my internship at the radio station, but they didn't have an opening when I graduated because I still had another semester. But they were looking to possibly have one coming up soon because they had an employee that had come down ill, and it didn't look like they were going to make it out. And so I had applied at the newspaper as well. I got interviews at both places, and then I got offered both jobs. And I had to make a decision, and my decision was based on the fact that the newspaper was like, oh, well, all you're going to do is sell ads. I'm like, so I don't get any part in helping create the ad or anything? And they're like, no. I'm like, yeah, I got to have a creative outlet. If you want me to sell some stuff, you have to give me the creative outlet, which the radio station was giving me. And that's why I made that decision.
Well,
to me, it's like, I'm all about learning those parts, but I need a creative outlet. I can't just be,
Well, I came into the paper in a different atmosphere
than
you would have, because we have 4 people.
Back when I did that would have been 2011, and they were definitely in a different place. They had a bigger staff. I feel like they had a full-time graphic designer, and that was it. That was their job. They had their salespeople.
I wish.
Yeah. They used to do that. That's what I was then I want the graphic design position then. I don't want to sell this shit.
Yeah, because that was Sean, wasn't it?
I'm not sure who the graphic designer was. It probably was, though.
But yeah,
I say that.
I get to do, like,
everything
in theater,
now, right? You
in
do
college. Yeah, I get to do a little bit of everything.
And I would have been down with that.
Yeah,
good.
But yeah,
but
if
we
you know
should
any
see you
freelancing
writing more.
places, hit me up.
Fiverr.com.
Yeah. In your painting, I saw a painting that you did.
Calendar.
I think it was in your. Was it in the calendar?
Yeah,
she was in the calendar. Then that.
Do you do a lot of that?
I wouldn't say a lot. I get maybe like one every 3 months or so.
Okay.
Sometimes I have creative spurts where I do a lot of little ones.
Yeah, I get that.
Churning them out.
I get that.
Yeah.
I'm the same way. I have bouts of creativity. I go up high and I go real low. I go up real high and then I go real low. And that's just part of it. You just gotta learn to ride the wave and enjoy it while you have it. Because sometimes I'm like, ooh, I'm being really creative today. Yay,
Yeah, that's kind of how I was in this last one. I was like, I better ride this for as long as I can.
Exactly, because you just never know when it's going to just fizzle out on you. And it's weird. Being a creative is a kind of a weird space to live in, but I wouldn't want to be in any other space. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But it's just part of me.
I think there's also a way, and I've been trying to harness that lately, of like not just having those highs and lows, but also learning how to control, because I mean, we know that George R.R. Martin has some highs and lows, and he's been in a low for about 30 years. So, but I think that if there's a way that you can harness that and use it that's how these creatives that we see in popular media today and like influencers and stuff, I think that's how they're very successful.
As they figure out how to kind of harness it.
And kind of medium out. So they don't have the real lows and they don't have the real highs, but they're still productive.
Yeah, well, that's good.
That's really interesting.
I need to get a lesson.
Yeah.
I think it would probably help if I didn't have 2 other jobs on top of being a creative.
Yeah, that's also a problem.
That's also a problem. But
in college, I said, well, you know what? One day I'm just gonna only do theater, and that's going to allow me to be 100% more productive.
Right.
And my theater professor was like, Sarah, you can't nobody does that. They all have life.
Yeah.
She's right.
Yeah. You're like, dang, stupid life. Getting in the way of my theater.
Why can't I be a Sims character locked in the basement painting like a goblin?
Yeah.
There you go.
Exactly. Well, Sarah, this has been great talking with you. I knew it would be super, super interesting and forthcoming, because I really didn't know. I'm just kind of starting to get to know you, so I really didn't know some of the ins and outs of your life and your career. And as you work in 2025, I hope it's hopeful, and you and I will be crossing paths, I'm sure, more in the future.
Yeah, and thank you guys for having me.
Well, thanks for agreeing to
It was
it.
our pleasure.
Some people just run the other way. They're like, no, not you two again.
What I want to know, though, is if we can get you and Tracy
Swing
to maybe do a mezzo-soprano battle of the
Oh my God, she would win. 100. I'm going to just tell you that right now.
She has some years on you, girl. That's all.
Yeah.
I think Actually, I think Tracy was a professional opera singer.
Yeah,
I
she
think
was.
she was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
if you've heard her sing, then you would know.
Yeah, exactly. And I've heard her sing. You know what's funny is when I was working at the radio station, I did the morning show on Q102, and her husband called and won Under Pressure all the time. I mean, so much that he would almost make enough for us to send him a 1099. I mean, this was ridiculous. And she would be the one that would come pick up his winnings. You know what I mean? Because he was working. And so that's when
into a purse. And then
well, I'm sure she gave it to him. She's a sweet lady. But that's how I first met Tracy.
Oh, wow.
And then, I kind of got, I'm not like super, super involved in the arts theater, but I've always kind of had my foot in the door. I go to this stuff and I've seen her perform because I love live performing arts. It's one of my favorite things. And so I've seen her and then I put two and two together. I'm like, oh my gosh, your husband's because that kind of last name. I mean, they're not, squirming the area.
Well, my
Swinks aren't.
first encounter with her, and let's see, the guy that works at the coffee shop, the son.
Oh,
you mean Matt West?
yeah.
No.
Coffee shop?
Well,
What coffee shop?
Twisters.
Oh, Peyton?
Oh, no.
It's not named not Peyton.
The
young
guy
one.
at the coffee
Not
shop?
Not Tyler.
But
Pete-
it's
Parker.
close.
Parker.
Oh.
That's it. Parker.
I'm
And
supposed to know his
then
name always.
older brother. His older
Tyler.
brother. Tyler.
Yeah.
There we go. I was in, one of Woody's
Peyton was close, damn it.
Woody Leonard's last productions. The King and I kind of got to know all of them because they were all involved.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to wrap
So with
this
that
up.
being said, we're going to wrap it up. Sorry, I just had to be the last.
Okay. We hope you folks conveniently listening at home or in your car enjoyed that. If you have any questions for either Mikey or myself about today's episode or any other darn thing, you can email us at mr.robin@mrrobinshood.com or Mikey@mrrobinshood.com. Also, you can find us on Facebook at Mr. Robin's Hood Podcast. As always, you can also reach out to Mikey or me via Podophone at 580-827-0472. Maybe you just want to get something off your chest or you're feeling some butt pain because of something we said during a podcast, give us a call. Unless, of course, you're an actual professional lucha libre wrestler, in which case you'll want to definitely contact Mikey direct.
That's me.
And,
I am El Diablo Guape's manager.
Oh. No. Okay.
I'm his booking agent.
You're Spanish 102.
I am not good at this.
El Diablo Guapo.
Fuck you.
I used to actually have my iPhone trained, and I would say, Siri, whose phone is this?
And they tell you El.
No, but she'd go, oh, it's Handsome Devils. Yeah, that's right.
Oh, you do not need to meet AI or Chat GPT or whatever the shit it is.
Okay.
You'll never need me as a friend again. You'll replace me with technology in your stupid phone. This will all blow up. It'll be the end. Sorry.
Text us if you have a question, concern, complaint, compliment, suggestion, whatever. Just don't be a dick about it. And while we're at it, one of the things we're hoping to do in 2025 is offer a podcast internship. If you'd like to work with a couple of seasoned podcasting pros, give us a call or email us. I think we're probably looking for someone pursuing a mass communications or broadcast journalism major. We won't
So if that's you,
give us
us.
a call. We won't be paying a salary, but we will offer a $50 per month stipend.
and you'll get so much experience.
Oh, yeah, the experience.
It's the worth of that. We just can't put a price on it.
Can't put a price on it. We'll also pay mileage to and from the compound. There are free drinks and food at least once a month when we record the episodes. And we need help with maintaining the podcast schedule, booking podcast guests, and possibly down the road editing the record. Good Lord, I got the hiccups. editing the recorded episodes, and even running the board.
Yes, we need somebody to do that, apparently.
So,
I've been screaming. No.
Shut
You
up.
don't know that yet.
Shut up.
But you will.
Shut up.
But right now I'm on board.
So please give us a call or drop us an email if you're interested. In the meantime, tell all your friends to listen to this podcast as though their lives depend upon it. As always, you can stream or download episodes of Mr. Robin's Hood podcast wherever you usually find that sort of nonsense. We're on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, the Podbean app, Apple Podcasts, Player FM, Listen Notes, and Podchaser. You can also stream them directly from our Podbean website at mrrobinshoodpodcast.podbean.com.
It's for free.
For free.
And if you go to Podbean, then we know you're there.
Oh, yeah.
And that helps us know stuff.
Yeah.
We like to know stuff.
We like to know.
So let us know stuff.
Like we know there's Germans. There's some bunch in Germany that keep downloading our stuff.
I'm telling you, we're popular across seas.
Well, but
we don't belong here.
We were, for a while, it was Guatemala.
Yeah.
They were downloading this in Guat. So the land of the Guat.
We'll take it. We'll take it. We'll take it.
So we'll close now by reminding everyone, as we always do, to
stay hungry, stay foolish, and most importantly, stay weird. Bye.